Yes, it is finally here. Yes, welcome back on in to the Auburn Angle. I am your host, Graham McLean, and thank you so much for tuning in and listening today. Well, we've made it. It's finally here. Today is the day that the transfer portal opens, and man, it kind of feels like Christmas Day, and I'm so excited. As this comes out, I'm recording this the night before, but this should come out around 7 a.m. So I don't know if anything's happened yet, but I'll be posting updates if it does throughout the day. It's going to be a crazy couple days, crazy 2 weeks. And so I'm super excited, super duper excited, to get this going. After a crazy season that, Auburn has just felt like they've lost. And, we've lost some pretty big names, obviously losing Cam Coleman, Deuce Knight, your entire quarterback room. Finally, we get to pick some pieces back up and make this team look like an actual roster again. It's been deflated, but super exciting stuff coming up in the next couple of days and weeks. So today's podcast, I'm just kind of I'm going to talk a little bit about what to expect in the portal. I've gotten a couple names down, some names to look at, and I think some of these names are some names that we could see commit to Auburn pretty early on in the portal process. Like I said, I don't know for sure. I'm not guaranteeing that they're going to commit early. It's just some signs have been pointing that way. So I could be wrong on some of these, but so that's kind of what we're going to do today. Just want to first start off. I obviously didn't post a show yesterday. Just took the New Year's off, but I just want to wish all of y'all, whoever's listening, a happy New Year. I hope it's a good year for you. Hope it's a good year for Auburn sports, and let's hope it's on the up and up for Auburn football. So, obviously, to start off with these names, there's one in particular that everyone wants, and that is, of course, none other than quarterback Byrum Brown out of USF. Was the former quarterback for Alex Golesh over at USF. Byrum has, announced his intentions into the portal. So I'm assuming by now, that's official. He's in the portal, and so it should be a pretty quick turnaround from what I'm hearing. I mean, it could be as soon as as the day that this gets posted, at any time like this weekend. That's what I would expect. And if it's not that, and if it's a little later than that, I'd have some questions I want to ask the staff about what's going on. I mean, it's either he's going to come here or he doesn't. And I think all signs, of course, are pointing towards he will be here. So that's super promising. Obviously, a little bit about Byrum. I've talked about it a little bit before, but obviously, Byrum this year had over 3,000 yards passing, 3,158 to be exact, and over 1,000 yards rushing, 1,008 yards on the ground. That's only been done by, I think it's 12 other players ever. That's impressive. I mean, that is a small list, and I mean, that's definitely something you want at Auburn. And I don't care what anyone says. Like, I get it. He was playing maybe a little lesser competition than what you might be facing in the SEC, but no matter who you are, where you are, that's still an elite thing to do. And if he can do those type of numbers at that school, I'm pretty confident that he can do maybe not 3,000, 1,000, but something similar to it, so that's going to be super exciting. He had 28 passing touchdowns this year and 14 rushing touchdowns. So yeah, I mean, overall an elite player, one of the top quarterbacks in this portal, and highly wanted from around, but everyone, all the experts seem to think that he's going to be coming to Auburn. So that's super exciting and super fun. Really hope that, the day that this is posted, obviously it's January 2nd. Hopefully it's today, but if it's not, it's okay. Give it a couple days, and hopefully he's a part of this roster, and he is an Auburn Tiger. Next, we're going to move on to running back. Just a name that, I did a little bit of research on, and I think Auburn's got a pretty good chance here. And the reason I say that is because Auburn went out and hired his running backs coach and brought him over to Auburn. And that, I don't know the coach's name right now. I probably should, but that's on me. So West Virginia transfer Jaheim White, as I'm pretty sure how you say it. He, I think, got hurt this year, so he didn't have a fantastic year. He ran for, I think it was 133 yards this year. I don't know how many games that was in. He only had 24 attempts, I think. So that sounds like maybe 2 games at the most. So that is a name to look out for. He's a good running back. I mean, 2024, he had 845 yards on the ground. 2023, 843. So that's pretty consistent. I mean, only 2 yards different within a year. And so obviously, I think this year he got hurt. That's unfortunate. But, I mean, hopefully he's going to be healed up and ready to go. And I would assume signs are pointing towards him joining this team. I could be wrong, but that would be a great addition. Obviously, we still are assuming Jeremiah Cobb's going to be a part of this team. You know, all signs point to that. I haven't really heard anything otherwise. I think he's content here, and obviously, I mean, he's one of those guys that he could have left any moment. I mean, he was a backup the day he got here to Jarquez Hunter, to Damari Alston. I mean, he was like our third guy his freshman year, and then last year, similar situation where he was the second, third guy. I mean, you had Jarquez Hunter, which is, I mean, he's unreal, and then you had Damari and Jeremiah kind of flipped it last year. But then obviously this year, he was RB1 with Damari getting hurt in the first game. And then obviously towards the middle of the season, Damari and ultimately deciding to leave the team. And Jeremiah was RB1. So I absolutely would love to have Jeremiah back. I would assume Jeremiah gets most of the snaps next year too. So it'll be interesting to see what Jaheim wants to do. I mean, if he wants to come in and try to be like a 1-2 punch with Jeremiah, but it'll be interesting to see how this staff views it and what they want to do with Jeremiah, and say we get Jaheim. Next, obviously, another big position that we need to talk about is, of course, wide receiver. Man, Auburn has lost a ton of stud wide receivers that, you know, just were great players. Now, there might have been some locker room issues with some of these guys, and I'm not going to get into that, but obviously we lose 5-star, like absolutely unreal athletic ability, Cam Coleman. He enters the portal. I don't know if Auburn's still in for him. I don't think it is. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I don't know. That's another thing I'm interested in. I want to know who out of the guys that have announced who we get back. And obviously we've seen a bunch of guys today, a bunch of young guys today. So it kind of seems like this staff is focusing a lot on these young guys, but we had a bunch of those today as I'm recording this announced that they're coming back. And I'll get into that in just a minute. But obviously, wide receiver, lost Cam, lost Malcolm. Eric today actually announced he's going to the draft. Lost Perry, lost Horatio, lost Sam Turner. So this wide receiver room has been gutted quite a lot. So, with that being said, I've got 2 names down here that I think could be early portal additions. Number one is, I think it's Chas Nimrod. Both of these players, as a disclaimer, are both USF players. Both, I think, are pretty good. One of them better than the other, but I think both are pretty good, and I think they could be successful here in the SEC. Number one, Chas Nimrod, I think. He had 466 yards catching on, or 466 yards receiving on 3 touchdowns. And the next one, of course, is a people that a lot of people have been talking about a lot, and that is Keyshawn Singleton. Many people, speculating, said that that's another addition Auburn will probably have pretty quickly. And I certainly hope so. Last year, Singleton had 877 yards and 8 touchdowns. Thank goodness. I mean, don't get me wrong, as much as I would love to have Eric Singleton back next year, that would be crazy if we had 2 Singletons on the field at the same time. I mean, that would be fun. But that's not going to be a situation anymore, obviously, as Eric Singleton expects to leave. So yeah, two good wide receivers coming out of USF under the Alex Golesh offense, who know the staff, who know Cody Burns, who knows these routes super well. So those are 2 names I would look out for early on in this portal cycle. The next one I want to get into is one that we need once again, and we've now had 2 straight years where we brought in a portal guy with this position and then they leave. And both of them haven't turned out exactly how we thought they would. One of them was better than the other, but that is, of course, offensive tackle. 2 years ago, Auburn gets Percy Lewis out of the portal. I can't remember where he came from, but that did not turn out like we thought it would. I think he got benched at some point in the year. I mean, highly, recruited and wanted tackle in the portal. I think he might have been the number 1 lineman in the portal when it opened back 2 years ago. Obviously, that didn't turn out well. Percy went on to transfer, and I actually don't have no idea how he did. I think this last year. I think he still played this year. Of course, this year we lose Xavier Chaplin, another one we're super highly, recruited and rated coming into the portal last year, but it just something didn't translate from his time at Virginia Tech over to Auburn. He brought up something at one point that he had hearing problems. I don't know how true that was. That was a crazy thing to say by Hugh, but ultimately he wasn't terrible, and I think he was better than Percy, but he wasn't what we thought he could have been. So with that being said, I have tackle Grant Segrin, I think is how you say his name. He is a tackle out of Oklahoma State, I believe. And yeah, I think he's pretty highly sought after. And so that would be another great addition to this team, to this roster. Hopefully this staff can, grade and find an offensive tackle that's actually worth it and not pay the millions of dollars like we have the last 2. And they failed. And then the last position I'm going to talk about, and like I said, these are just some early names to look for, is cornerbacks. Both of these guys, disclaimer again, are USF guys, and I don't know how many USF guys we'll get. I think there's only a handful that are elite enough to even play at this level, being like playing the SEC. Number 1 is Jarvis Lee. USF guy, like I said, I think it was one of them was like had no stars coming out of high school, but is developed at USF and is playing pretty decent now. So, like I said, I mean this position is another one that we've lost a bunch of players in. Obviously, we lose Jay Crawford, we lose Caden Lee. I think we lost Kinsley Lidor-Falson. Yeah, that sounds right. Just the DB room in general is just. It weakened a little bit. It got a little shallow. You lose Amon Langanis. Yeah. So another one. So and then the next one is Gavin Jenkins. Another USF corner that I think would be a fantastic addition to this roster. So those are just a couple of the names that I've kind of been on the lookout for. So yeah, so hopefully that, by the time this comes out tomorrow, we already have a couple. I don't know. By the time the show comes out, it'll be super early. So I don't know, but hopefully soon after I'll be, uploading some more stuff over on my Instagram. Like I said, I post stuff on Instagram. Go follow that. It's just the Auburn Angle on Instagram. I'll be posting instant reactions to Auburn getting certain players today. And hopefully we have some good news tomorrow morning. Or anytime tomorrow would be great even. So yeah, that's about it. I think we'll have the portal. Something I mentioned a minute ago I kind of wanted to touch on, obviously, is today as I'm recording this, multiple players on this roster and I think only on the defense. I can't think of anybody. Yeah, I can't think of anybody on the offense, but some multiple young defensive guys that were highly recruited, announcing that they're staying and they're running it back for another year with Auburn. Obviously, probably about a week ago now, maybe a little more, we had Xavier Atkins announce it. That was phenomenal because he has turned out to be a stud. But today we had guys like Jordan Crawford announce. We had Malik Autry announce. We had DeMarcus Riddick announce. We had, I know I'm forgetting somebody. Let me check real quick. Let's see. Okay, yeah. We had, like I said, we had DeMarcus Riddick, Malik Autry, Jordan Crawford, Elijah Melendez. That's going to be another fantastic one to look out for. And Bryce Diaz, man, could Auburn have one of the best linebacker rooms in the country next year? I certainly think so. I mean, you have Xavier Atkins, All-American. You have DeMarcus Riddick, who took a step back, this past season, kind of got passed in the order, but I think has the opportunity to prove himself once again. I think he'll be good. I think he'll be good for Auburn next year. Bryce Diaz showed incredible moments and athletic moments this past season as well. And so Elijah Melendez is a hitter. He's going to be great. I mean, we have multiple very good returning linebackers. And of course, keeping Jordan Crawford and Malik Autry on the defensive line, I mean, that's just perfect for us. And I would like to assume that a lot of this has to do with DJ Durkin being here, obviously, and I'm sure these guys are getting treated well NIL wise. And so that's super, super exciting for Auburn. So yeah, I think that's about it I'll have for today. I'm super excited, guys. I think I can feel my bug coming back a little bit. If you don't know what that is, that's just like my excitement for Auburn. And so I think this could be a very, very good portal class. I mean, we certainly have the money to do it with all that we've lost, but it really does feel like a culture shift. It's really happening here. Sounds like the staff had gotten rid of some. I've seen online some cancers. I put in quotation marks in this roster and in the locker room. So ultimately, I think we're on the up. I think things are starting to turn around for the Tigers, and I certainly hope so, because man, would it be exciting to see us do well next year. I mean, I'm watching the college football playoff, right before I'm recording this, and it just seems like so much fun. So I'm praying for the best. Yeah, I think that's about all I have for today. Not a super long show, just coming in here before the ultimate portal day to talk some things portal. So tomorrow, like I said, gonna be a big day. Super excited for it. Y'all make sure to go follow Auburn Angle on Instagram. I'll be, like I said, posting updates all day as we continue to get guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Please like the video. Please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks.